Danganronpa is one of my favorite game series ever. The games have great stories, interesting mysteries, and some of my favorite art in any visual novel style game. But the thing that makes Danganronpa so great is its characters. If DR didn't have its amazing cast of characters, I don't think anyone would really care that much about it. It would basically be a pretty hollow story with a decent enough mystery. However, not all DR characters are created equal. So, today I will be ranking them all from worst to best. Well, almost all of them. I'm only going to be including characters that appear in at least one of the 4 games, so no characters that are only in the DR3 anime. I will also only be ranking them based on their appearances in the game, so I'll be judging the characters based on their actions in the main story and in their free time events. Finally, the characters that are on screen now do appear in the games, but they will not be included in the list. If you want to know why a character is not on the list, check the description. I will go into detail there. So with all that said, this is, almost, every Danganronpa character ranked from worst to best. In my opinion. Number 56.
I am Hifumi Yamada, but if you want to call me by my nickname,
The Alpha and the Omega!
I don't mind.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the least controversial pick on this whole list. I still have yet to meet someone who genuinely likes Hifumi. When it comes to Hifumi, you either hate him, or you're just very indifferent to him. Hifumi is the only character in the series I don't like at all. He's just really uninteresting and doesn't really have anything going for him. In the main story, the only meaningful thing he did was get tricked by Celeste. His free time events are okay at best. In his free time events, he talks about how and why he started writing fanfiction, which is kinda interesting, and I do like at the end of his events when he says he wants to make something original. But in the end, Hifumi is just very forgettable. He doesn't do anything in the main story, his free time events are nothing special, and he has one of the least appealing designs in the whole series. Because of all this, Hifumi gets the honor of being the worst DR character. Number 55.
My name is Korekio Shinguchi. I am called the Ultimate Anthropologist.
For me, Kyo is one of the most forgettable characters in the entire series. In fact, let me tell you how forgettable he is. When I was making this list, I made a checklist of all the characters so I wouldn't forget anyone when I made the actual list. But when I was making the list, I realized I forgot to put Kyo on the checklist. My guess is that I put Kyoko on the list, and Kyoko and Kyo are spelled pretty similarly, so I just thought I'd put Kyo on the list. I also somehow forgot Hajime, and I genuinely just don't know how I did that. But anyway, back to Kyo. He's definitely one of the creepier characters. He killed 2 characters that I really liked because he wanted his sister/fuck buddy to have some friends. And out of all of the killers, he had one of the weirdest and most selfish reasons for killing. Hell, he wasn't even persuaded by a motive, he just killed because he wanted to. As for his free time events, I actually kinda like them. They aren't the best in the game by any means, but I liked hearing him talk about anthropology. It humanized him a bit more for me, and I just always like hearing why a character started doing their talent and why they love it. Also, side note, Ultimate Anthropologist might be the weirdest talent in the whole series. But as a whole, Kyo remains one of the most forgettable characters in all of DR. I don't hate him, I just don't really have any strong feelings about him. Because of that, Kyo remains one of the most forgettable characters in the whole series. Number 54.
Yo, the name's Leon Kuwata. What's up?
Leon is the first character on the list that suffers from a little something I like to call Leon Syndrome. What does this mean? Well, a character with Leon Syndrome dies in one of the first 2 chapters, and because of this, they don't get a lot of development in the main story. Because of this, a character with Leon syndrome is often very uninteresting and ends up being forgotten by the vast majority of the fandom. But anyway, back to Leon himself. Well, actually, when I think about it, what can I really say about him? He's most famous for being the most obvious murderer in the entire series. Seriously, anyone who I've ever talked to about Leon says that they figured out he was the killer in about 2 seconds when they saw the 11037 message. I mean, I didn't, but I'm dumb, so yeah. His free time events don't really do much for him either. In his free time events, he says the only reason he wanted to start a band was so that he could impress a girl. In the end, Leon remains one of the least fleshed out characters in the series due to his severe case of Leon syndrome. I don't hate him, but that's mainly because I don't have much of an opinion of him to begin with. Number 53.
Hi, I'm Sayaka Mizono. I look forward to getting to know you.
Well, we just talked about the murderer, so let's talk about the victim now. Sayaka is interesting because I usually see one of 2 opinions about her. You either think she is the thought to end all thoughts, or you think she is super cute and lovable and a precious angel and you think she is the true love interest for Makoto and Kyoka could go take a hike. I'm more so in the middle. I like Sayaka enough, but of course, because she dies in the first 2 chapters, she is yet another case of Leon syndrome. One of the things people don't like about Sayaka is that she manipulated Makoto and tried to frame him for her crime. The way I see it, Sayaka definitely tricked Makoto, but I think she saw the error in her ways. I think her writing the message telling everyone that Leon did it was her way of apologizing for what she did. The only problem with that is everyone in DR1 is pretty stupid. Now, to be fair, I don't have any proof that this was her intention, but you also have no proof for the contrary. Her free time events are cute, but nothing special. It just mainly fleshes out her relationship with Makoto. In the end, Sayaka is yet another character that I don't hate, but I don't really love either. Don't worry, I promise all my opinions will be this samey. Number 52.
You know how when you stare into moving bicycle spokes, you get all scared? Like, for some reason, you imagine how painful it would be to put your hand in. My name is Jataro Kamuri, and bird skin isn't yummy no matter how you cook it.
Ah, Jotaro, the most hated of the Warriors of Hope. Jotaro is by far the weirdest of the kids, and he's arguably the least developed of them as well. Most of Jotaro's development happens in the books that you find in the game, and I really like what these books do for him. One of his journals that you find tells you a lot about why he is the way he is. In the journal, he says that his mother hated him more than anything in the world. Jotaro wanted to be loved, so he managed to convince himself that love and hate are the same thing. This explains why he always asks, "Do you hate me now?" I could actually see a kid in his position doing the same thing he does. When you see him in this way, Jotaro becomes a much more understandable and, dare I say it, likable character. I definitely like this element of Jotaro, I just wish there was more of it in the main story. At the same time, because Jotaro is meant to be hated, that ends up meaning that, well, I kinda hate him. His nonsensical rambling wore thin pretty quickly, and outside of his journals, he really doesn't get too much development. In the end, I have a love-hate relationship with Jotaro. I think he's a decent character, and the parts I really like, but at the same time, he can be pretty annoying, and the parts of him I hate, I really hate. Number 51.
My name is Teru Hanamura. On the streets, I'm known as the ultimate cook. But could you guys call me the ultimate chef instead? It has more of a big city flavor to it, you know?
Despite the fact that he is still way at the bottom of this list, he's still probably higher than you thought he would be. Teru is one of the most universally hated characters in all of DR, and he is often compared to Mineta from My Hero Academia. But honestly, I think that's being a bit unfair to Teru. The thing about Mineta is that he is a pervert and nothing else. His entire motive for being a hero is that he wants girls to like him so that he can get laid. And where being a perv is definitely a very big part of Teru's character, there's a bit more to him than just that. For one, his motive for killing is actually one of the more noble ones in the series. One of his reasons for killing was so that he could see if his sick mom was okay. His second reason for killing was actually to protect everyone. When Nagito told him what his plan was, Teru thought that killing Nagito was his only option. Him killing Togami was a mistake, and he clearly felt bad about it. Not to mention his free time events are actually pretty good. He talks about why he loves cooking, and where part of the reason is because it reminds him of sex, the other reason is because he loves seeing people smile and enjoys food. However, I do acknowledge that he could be very annoying, and he objectifies all the girls, but I don't know. I guess I just have a soft spot for the guy. At the very least, he doesn't survive for 3 chapters, so that's something.